Hi, y'all. Easy Slider here. You know, it just seems like that I hear more men saying that they're disappointed and because it's getting harder and harder to find women in the Philippines. Well, honestly, I think there is some merit to what they're saying because more men are getting ghosted by the Filipino women. Why is it happening? That'd be my first question. My second question would be, would you like to improve your odds? I think that's two pretty good questions. Now, if you don't know the reason, there is absolutely no chance you're going to be able to fix this problem. So stay with me, and then we're going to identify the problem, and then we're going to fix it. Our channel has one goal in mind, and that's helping you. Helping you get the answers you need to ensure your long distance relationship that it's a success. Now, go and subscribe where you can be on top of your game. Now, for sure, the last few years, I've seen some changes, and one change is that women are paying less attention to the foreigners. It's a fact, but it's a fact with a solution. If you know why, then we can work on it. Let's first identify the reason. One of the things I've noticed is the Philippines has become a destination for more and more people. They want to come here on vacations. It's been brought to the attention of the world because of its beautiful places that you can visit, the warm hospitality, the welcoming people, and the extreme beauty of the women. So your first thing to realize is more tourists are arriving to enjoy the best that the Philippines have to offer. The second thing you need to realize is the bigger cities like Manila and Cebu, they're known to the people that live there, to the Filipino people, as the place to go to find work. So these cities where the bigger airports are, these airports are their main destination cities, are also the cities where they can go and find work. Are you starting to see a pattern building? More tourists arrive in the cities, and more Filipinos come there to work, so more people. I think we're getting somewhere here. This brings the citizens of the Philippines together with the growing number of the foreigners. More and more residents in the Philippines interact with arriving foreigners, so the newness of the foreigners kind of wears off. You know, when something is new, everybody's interested. But after a while of being around them every day, they're not so new. The girls are meeting a lot more foreigners each day, and naturally the men are approaching them and talking to them and trying to ask them out a lot more. Now, I think one of the most overlooked things by the men is identifying why they want to go to the Philippines. Well, they may think about it in the back of their mind, but they don't really just stop a second and think about it. So, what's your reason? Do you want to go there to find a girlfriend that you would like to turn into a wife? Or you want to go there on vacation and you'd like to find a companion for a couple of weeks while you're on your trip? When you better know why you're going, then you can better understand why certain women act the way they do. Let me explain. Many of the women in the Philippines want to find a man to settle down with for life. They're not looking for just a partner for a couple of weeks. This is something that's ingrained into them from a small child. Now, of course, there are always women that only want to find somebody for fun and they don't want to stay with them for life. But if you're going for 2 weeks and you're trying to find a girlfriend for that time, and you're talking to the wrong women, don't you expect you're going to get ghosted? It makes sense, right? But actually, it goes a lot deeper than that, I can tell you. Additionally, more foreigners are making the Philippines their new home. They're moving there to live. And a good example of that is Dumaguete City. There are a lot of towns like Dumaguete, but that's one that comes to mind because there's a lot of foreigners that have settled in Dumaguete. So naturally, the women there are seeing these foreigners on a daily basis, so it's nothing new. Now, before this occurred, the foreigners were a lot more noticed because there just wasn't as many of them. Now the foreigners are common in the larger cities, so they're being paid less attention to. Makes sense, right? Now, don't get me wrong. They're still going to get noticed more than they did back home in the West. There's always going to be women that want to meet foreigners in all the cities. There just may not be as many of them. In other words, location plays a part. Did they come there just to get a job, or do they want to be with someone just for fun? You can't read their minds, so you really don't know. If you're only looking for a girl that wants to be with you for a couple of weeks, then it's better not to try to connect to a woman looking for a husband. So the bigger cities might be the best place to look for somebody for a couple of weeks, even though you're not going to find as many women. It's better for that. Now, if you have an interest in finding a woman to marry, it'd be better to get on out of town. Get out of the big cities. The provinces have less foreigners, so naturally, once again, the foreigners get more attention. Makes sense. It's great if you just do a little exploring, and I can tell you, it's a lot of fun too. Head out to some of the provinces and just get out there and start looking around and start enjoying yourself. Now, don't make the mistake of thinking that all province cities are small, because many of them are not small. Many of them are good-sized cities. They might still be a large city, but not a financial hub or not an airport destination. So less foreigners will probably be there. This brings us to a second critical point. Meeting and dating a woman in the West, your home, is not the same as meeting a Filipino woman. Not even close. All right? When you're dealing with the women of Asia, culture comes into play and how the families raised her. All of that you don't see as much of in the West really comes to light. In a lot of ways, she's going to be different from the women you've ever been with. But you know what? That's what makes the Filipina so much more desired. They're not the same. The thing you need to understand is some of the differences and how it affects you, because it does. All right? Let me give you just a list of words that might describe a girl living in the province. Now, these traits don't make them totally different from the city girls, but they do play a big part in understanding them and why they might ghost you. So let's go over a list here. They're shy. And you'll see this a lot. They'll cover their mouth with their hands. They live a simpler life. They really do. They smile a lot. I like that. It gives you a warm feeling. They're genuine, and you can feel it. You really can. They're respectful to their family. They respect older people more. And here's a key. They're more cautious. Actually, a lot more cautious, and we're going to talk about that. They often require you to establish more trust with them. They usually don't just go somewhere with you the first time they meet you. Now, don't get me wrong. Just because they don't go somewhere with you the first time they meet you, that don't mean they don't want to. Keep that in mind. You just have to follow some of their rules. Now, there's a solid reason, and when you understand the reason, your odds are going up. In the provinces, more people watch you and keep their nose in your business. You better believe they do. And a huge thing to the Filipino people is respect. They don't want problems. So if they meet you, they're not just going to take off with you somewhere, because people would start talking. And they don't want that. They don't want people that they know talking behind their back. So in order to keep face, they oftentimes have to meet you more than once. You have to be respectful. You have to show that you're trustworthy and that you're a serious man, not just somebody looking for a fun girl. See what I mean? You're having to build a little rapport with them here. You're having to get to know them a little bit. They're having to get to know you. Now, this is a point where most men lose the girl. The man spots the girl. He gets over there and starts talking to him. And then he starts asking them personal questions. Like, do you have children? Where do you live? Do you have a job? They push for a phone number. And they just rush too much. Remember, we're talking about a girl that's probably shy. Instantly, the girl feels pressure and she feels pushed by this man. Now, they're usually polite, but given a chance, they're going to ghost you after that because you put too much pressure on them. Remember, these women are different. They're different from the girls you've dated in the West. Their culture and their values are different. They do things a little bit differently. So if you understand that and expect that, then it's not a big surprise. If I can say anything to you, it's slow down. Now, you might be in a hurry, but remember, they have to follow their guidelines, not your guidelines. This is their unwritten rules that they're going to be following that's been put on them by family and all the gossipers and everybody else. When you can slow down and you can show respect by not prying into their private life in the first minute you meet them, and you can just relax and talk to them, then trust me, things are going to go a whole lot better. If she's shy, you'll know it. Give her some time. Allow her to become comfortable with you. The thing I see so many men do is just push them away the first time they meet them. Now, I can say this. Once a woman feels comfortable with you, she'll get serious fast. She can quickly move in with you and be talking marriage before you even realize what has happened. And that's no joke. They might be slow starters, but when they move fast. They know the competition is strong, and they don't want to take any unnecessary chances of losing you. They just want to make sure that you're showing respect to them and their family. And then, Katie bar the door. They're coming to lock you down before the other girl gets you. Now, when you understand why they act like they do, like I said, your odds are going to just skyrocket. Now, if you're not getting the attention you're looking for from these girls that you're meeting, then stop. Ask yourself why. Why? Are you looking in the wrong places? Or perhaps, are you pushing too hard? You know, there are places in these bigger cities where men go to meet girls, and those girls are just constantly being bombarded, and some of them really just get tired of it. They're not there for that, and they get tired of it. So ask yourself, what are you doing wrong? Are you in the wrong place? Or are you just pushing too hard? Well, either way now, you know the problem, and better yet, you have the information to fix it. So the next time you hear a man saying it's really hard to get a girlfriend now, just smile and walk away, because your odds are a lot better because you know what to do. Okay, let's just slide on over to the next video for some more timely information, okay? See you there.